three things today: your collective bargaining negotiating process, your CBA benefits, and your counselor remuneration. Now, there's 3 or 4 counselors on this committee who know that I appear before regional council fairly regularly, and a recurring theme with myself is the size and cost of regional government. And if you're not aware, if you're a city councillor or if you're in the audience here, the regional government is approaching 6,000, a complement of 6,000 employees, and the budget's like 1.2 billion. So I have expressed my concern about the size and cost of regional government. As far as the city of Oshawa is concerned, I'm less concerned about the size of government, the complement of employees, but I do have some concerns about the cost of city of Oshawa government. And I also want to let you know that I'm aware that when we speak of property taxes, I understand that there's a clear division that the city of Oshawa only gets a portion of the property taxes, namely about 43%. The region gets about 44%, and then towards education about 13%. So when you hear me speaking of property tax, I understand that there's a division, and you bear the brunt of the criticism, even though you only get 43% of the taxes, or levy them at least. Also, when I speak of city expenses now, I'm not speaking of, looking at one of your financial statements here. It says it's listing expenses with a total budget of 158 million. It includes salaries, interest on long-term debt, materials and supplies, rents and financial expenses, transfer payments, and amortization. I'm really only going to speak about one. As far as I'm concerned, the only 2 ongoing expenses are salaries, wages, and benefits, and materials and supplies. I'm not going to speak at all about materials and supplies. I'm going to speak exclusively about salaries, wages, and benefits. Okay, as far as the first point of discussion here is the negotiating process, and this is where you'll see the similarity with Rosemary's presentation. I as well believe, as is the case over the region incidentally, I as well believe there's a conflict of interest. When management negotiates with your 2 or 3 bargaining units, they negotiate, subsequent to the agreement, they get virtually the same benefits, and a portion, at least as far as salary adjustment for counselors do as well. So that to me is a clear conflict of interest. I as well would like to see both here and at the region the inclusion of a third party from outside. Who, I don't know. Having discussed it with your HR department, said, you know, if we brought in an arbitrator, it's going to cost $300-400 an hour. I don't think you need to bring in a professional arbitrator, but I think there should be somebody from outside to at least diminish this perception of conflict of interest. Do I believe in collective bargaining? Absolutely. Do I believe in appeasing the union and capitulating to the union? No, I don't. And as I say, when it's strictly your own internal management who's subsequent to a memo of understanding receiving the same benefits as the people you're negotiating with, like I say, I don't know how you interpret that as anything other than a conflict of interest. Okay, second topic of discussion is your CBAs, or excuse me, the benefits specific. I'm looking incidentally, I have a copy of one of your 2 CBAs for the inside workers. And it's got the index and it's got all the categories of agreement. So I'm really looking at 2, representation and benefits. So that's all I'm going to talk about as far as the CBA. So the representation I just made reference to, and how I'd like to see a change as far as the third party involvement. But if you go through and look at the CBA, whether it's inside workers, outside workers, or the third group, which I'm led to believe is crossing guards, I don't understand the necessity for a CBA for crossing guards, but that's another story. As I go through and look at the benefits, well, first of all, let me say I have no dispute, again, in looking at this CBA, I have no dispute with the salary levels for the various job classifications. You have to pay a certain amount to get people of quality and credentials. Benefits, I have a major problem with. They're extensive. Not only you have medical, dental, vision care, hearing, but when I see things like, and again, it's very similar to the region, when I see things like massages and chiropractic services, Not only are they on there, and there's others that I think are frivolous, but they're extended to not only the employee of the city, but to their family, and incredibly, in some instances, to children who happen to be post-secondary, to children up to 25 years of age, and I don't consider somebody 22, 23, 24 to be a child, but when those benefits are extended to them, I have a problem with that. Okay? There was an article in one of the local papers referring to city pension payments being up 40%. And the last comment was a little disassociated from the article, but it relates to what I'm talking about. The city is also responsible for health care and life benefits for 420 retirees, quotes one of your staff. Again, extensive benefits while you're on the job, while you're the employee of the corporation. Massive benefits which the majority of the residents and taxpayers of the city of Oshawa do not have, either don't have it all or have minimally. So you're asking taxpayers who don't have benefits or have little or no benefits to pay for extensive benefits for city of Oshawa employees. That is extreme enough. But asking to pay for them in some instances, post-retirement, in some instances for life, impresses me as like extravagance in the extreme. Now, subsequently, in any questions you may ask me, you may say, you know, these things were entrenched in the CBAs over a period of time. They weren't done in one session. They've been done over not only years, but decades. I understand that. But I'm talking about going forth. Going forth, I would like to, because they're so considerable, because they're so extensive, I would like to see the existing benefits frozen. I don't want any additions. I don't want any enhancements. Okay? Now, I'll tell you a strategy you can employ. I'm going to make reference to a federal election debate in 1984. John Turner and Brian Mulroney, and they were going at it, and there was some issue, and Mr. Turner made a colossal mistake, said something like, well, you know, we, meaning the government and the sitting government, we had no option, to which Mr. Brian Mulroney replied, you did have an option. You could have said no. As you negotiate your new contracts, when something is asked for, inasmuch as, in my opinion, it's already considerable, I'm talking about benefits now, considerable and extravagant, when additions or enhancements are added, it's as simple as saying, no. You have a lot already. No. There are a lot of people out there that have no benefits. They are paying for yours. No, no more. So I want them frozen. Now also, one last comment on CBAs. I would like the 2 or 3 CBAs that you have, as is the case, I couldn't find it, but it's on the region website, they have their CBAs posted. I would like the City of Oshawa CBAs to be posted on your website. I'm told by your HR people that they are not posted. I got a copy through your HR, and that's fine. But I would like the residents and taxpayers of Oshawa to be able to look at the CBAs on the city website. Okay, last topic discussion, council's remuneration. Again, as is the case at the region, I don't like the fact that your salaries, councilor salaries, are linked to the CBAs. It could be argued by some people, councilor salaries should be frozen for the entire 3 or 4 year term. That's another argument. But if you are going to adjust your salaries, I would like the method or process to be delinked from the CBAs, and alternately, your adjustment should be either a year-end adjustment or a start-of-year adjustment directly related to inflation. Okay, so to summarize, I'd like to, as far as the negotiation process, I'd like some third-party involvement. I only have another 30 seconds. I like your, okay. I like the benefits in the CBAs frozen. And I'd like councilor salaries, if they are adjusted annually, to be adjusted to the inflation rate. Okay, one last comment. I hope, I'm not sure if I follow the process correctly here at the City of Oshawa, I hope to speak to full council next week where I will reiterate a lot of this. And it's not my intent to be malicious or to castigate you, but I want the citizens of Oshawa to know what this is costing them. And I think the CBA and the contents, in particular the benefits, should be known to the residents and taxpayers of the city of Oshawa.
Thank you, Mr. Milosh. Questions of the delegate?